We're on question number 33. Question number 33 here. Okay. Well, no, I skipped 31. It was, I did 29 with you guys. I think was the last one I did with you guys. Okay, so the next problem on the assignment is 33. I skipped over several questions. Okay. Now, they're asking us, first off, is this exponential? Now, I want to make sure you understand the difference between exponential and linear. If I give you this right here, this right here would be linear. And I want to tell you, it's easy to explain linear first. The reason is, as x goes up by 1, what's happening to the y values? It's going up by 3 every time. When you keep adding or subtracting the same thing every time, then it's linear. Well, when we look at this, 50 to 10. How do you go from 50 to 10? Subtract 40. Did they subtract 40 to get to 2? No, they didn't. This is not linear. This is exponential. So let's think of another way. Exponential, you're not adding or subtracting. You're multiplying or dividing, okay? So this is exponential. First off, is it exponential growth or is it decay?
It's decay.
It's decay. Why?
Because it's going down.
It's going down. It's exponential decay. Okay? So you're going to click on that, exponential decay. And as x increases by what? What's happening to the x value? It's going from -1 to 0, 0 to 1, 1 to 2.
Increasing by 1.
Okay, so these are what you're going to click on. 1. What's happening to the y values? You said you subtract 40, okay? Is there another way you could go from 50 to 10, but either by multiplying or dividing?
Yeah.
How do you go from 50 to 10?
Divide it by a number.
What number? What do I divide 50 by to get 10? 5. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying divide by 5. There's nothing wrong with that. On your written test, if you say divide by 5, that's fine. Another way of saying dividing by 5, though, is multiplying by 1/5. That's what they're going to want you to click on, okay? Multiplying by 1, it's the same thing, okay? Multiplying by 1/5 is the same as dividing by 5. So which one do you write on a test? I don't care, okay? All right, so that's it for that question. Okay, number 35. Okay, so this one will be a much quicker one. 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And then what do we have here? 35, 29, 35, 29, 23, 17. Okay. Is this linear or is it exponential? What's the pattern here? What happens to the y values?
It's going down.
By what? How do you go from 39 to 25? Or 29 to 23? Or 23 to 17? How do you go down? You go down how much?
By 6.
By 6. When? Sometimes?
All
Every time. Whenever you're adding or subtracting the same number every time, it's linear. This is not exponential, okay? This is linear. Okay? And it's just linear. Let's see. Well, I take that back. You're not going to click on linear. The choice is neither growth or decay. It's not linear, or it's not exponential. They're asking, is it exponential growth or is it decay? It's neither, okay? And the reason is, as x increases, what's happening to the x? It's going up by what?
1.
1 every time.
And decrease by 6.
It's decreasing by 6. Decrease by 6. That's decrease, not December 6th. Okay?
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Okay, next one. 37. One more of these type of questions. 37. All right, so what do we got here? Again, x and y. And what do we have here? 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, and 20. And the y values are 2, 8, 32, 128. Okay. So, first off, is this linear? If it was linear, how would you go from 2 to 8? What'd you do?
Multiply.
Careful, if it's linear. Linear, you're always doing what or what?
Minus the.
Adding or subtracting. So how would you go from 2 to 8 if it was linear?
Plus six.
Plus 6. Did they plus 6 to get to 32? No, they didn't. This is not linear. It's exponential.
But it is times 5.
Exponential growth or decay?
Growth.
Why? It's going up. And what's the pattern here? This is what Alana was getting ready to say. What's another way of going from 2 to 8?
Times by 4.
Times by 4. And did they times by 4 here?
Yes.
And if you take 32 times 4, you do get 128, okay? So it is exponential growth, okay? Because as x increases by, what was the x increasing by? Was it 1?
5.
5 this time. we're multiplying by 4. Multiplying by 4. Okay, number 41, okay? All right, this one. All right, remember, everything starts with 100%, okay? Now, these are going to be quick ones. They're asking us, I'm going to move this over here. Get rid of these two. They're going to give you a function, and they're just going to ask you, is it growth or decay, and how much is it changing by, okay? Oops, is 39, is that what it is? 41.
Y equals 4.
4 times what? 0.8 to the t? Okay, so let's do this. Look at what's raised to the power, 0.8. I would make it a percent every time. 0.80 is the same as 80%, okay? So is this growth or is it decay? Yes, sir. When I'm all done here, okay? What's that?
Growth. Decay.
I heard both. Which is growth or decay?
0.8, so it's going.
We always start with what percent? 100.
So it's
We're at 80, so it's got to be what?
So it's decay.
It's decay, right. It went down.
That's
It's
Nathaniel.
decay.
Nathaniel,
Now,
small brain.
you got to be careful here. They want to know how much did it change by? What are we always starting with? 100%. So how much did it change by?
20.
Why?
Because it went down 100 minus 80.
Right. It went down by 20%. Okay. All right. 43.
Wait, what?
What?
We need more questions.
Just a few more. Okay, 30.95 to the t.
Goes up to 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we skip a lot of them. Okay, so we look at 0.95 and make it into a percent. What percent is 0.95? 95%. Is it growth or is it decay?
It's
Decay.
decay
Why?
by 5%.
5%.
Because it's less than 100%. It's under 100. It's decay, and it went down by what percent? 5. As long as you remember, you always start with 100%. These are easy. 4, 45, 45, 47. 2 more of these quick ones, and then 2 of the tougher ones. 45. Number 45.
This is cool.
Okay, so we have 0.4, 1.06. 0.4, 1.06 to the t. Make 1.06 into a percent. Move it 2 spots. 106%. Is it growth?
It's growth.
Why?
because It's up 6%.
From?
100.
It's always from. It's growth.
Start.
And it went up by what percent?
6.
Went up by 6% from 100.
Whoa.
Okay, one more of these. Then we got to do one more, or a couple of tougher ones. 47. Okay. 2 5/4 to the t. 2 times 5/4 to the t. Okay, I would encourage this. 5/4 means 5 divided by 4. If I do that, 5 divided by 4 is 1.25. You can use a calculator. You can always use a calculator, okay? So,
And
what's,
then it would be 125%, and it would be growth by 25% from
I
100%.
literally just said.
man, perfect, textbook answer. Seriously, couldn't have said that better. It's perfect. Everything you said is exactly what we wanted. Okay, it's growth, because it's more than 100%. It's 25% more than 100. Okay, number 48's next. That's one you guys do on your own. Then we jump all the way to 57. Okay, the last 4 questions are 57, 58, 59, and 60. I'm going to do number 57 with you guys, 57 and 59. Okay, now, we're doing these, and some of you guys I think are getting this, and you're like, man, I got it, but what's the point? How are we ever going to use this? I'm going to use an application that definitely has real-world implications on it, okay? Talking about money here, okay? When you put money in the bank, I want to make sure you understand. This has something to do, we talked about interest, okay? Interest works both ways, okay? When you borrow money, people charge you interest. When you put money in the bank pays you interest, okay? So what you need to understand is there's something called compound interest, okay? And you ever heard the expression like let your money work for you? That's what it is, okay? I'm going to use easy numbers here, okay? If you had 10% interest, okay? 10% interest every year. Let's say every year they give you 10% interest, okay? If you had $100 and you left it alone, at the end of the year you would not have $100. You'd have $100 plus 10% of that, okay? Would be $110. Okay? You get 10% of that, so you'd have $110. Okay? Now, The next year, you're gonna get another 10%. So are you gonna get another $10?
Yeah.
No.
you're
20%.
not
No, you're still getting 10%, but it's not 10% of 100. It's 10% of 110. And 10% of 110 is $11. Now, I'm thinking big deal, it's only an extra dollar, okay? But if you put the word 1,000, 100,000, you know, it makes it, the more money you have in there, the more interest your money's gonna earn. I mean, that's what we said. We got $10 the first year, you got $11 the next year. The next year, you're not gonna, well, what you did was this. You'd have $121, 10% of that is $12.10. So you're getting more money, and again, it's not a whole lot, but if you put even more money in there, it would be that much more even so, okay? So your money is working for you. Your interest is earning interest, okay? All right, so that's a good thing to have, and it works the other way. If you get credit cards, okay, you might be thinking, if you ever get a credit, you're all probably going to get credit cards eventually, okay? Credit cards have like 20% interest charges, okay? What that means is, if you owe $100, and if you don't even make the minimum payment, you have to make a minimum payment, okay? You got to make the minimum payment's like $30, I don't know what it is, okay? But if you didn't make it, so if you had $100 and it was 20% interest, at the end of the next month, are you going to owe $100? No, 100 plus 20% more interest, okay? And it would keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You'd be digging yourself a hole. Unfortunately, this is what I do. We have a credit card, but guess what we do every single month? Pay it off entirely. So how much interest do we pay? None. We don't pay any. Credit card companies don't like me, okay? They don't make any money off me, okay? Because when we pay it off, now some people can't do that. They can't do that, okay?
But that's what you have to do.
Well, I mean, if you can afford, I look at it this way. Try to live within your means. You want certain things. Everybody wants things, but if you can't pay for it up front, you know, try to save for it. Otherwise, you're going to pay a lot more for it than what it's worth. That's just what
My sister's giving them a lot of money.
Does she don't pay off her credit card? Oh, yeah? Well, you know.
You clearly know what you're doing. Why aren't you investing in stuff?
Well, I don't know. So.
You should.
Yeah. Okay. Let's knock these out. Okay. So number 57. Last two questions. Okay. So we have $2,000. Jot this all down. We have $2,000.
Okay.
You deposit that in the bank at, where are we at?
5%.
5%
Annual interest.
compounded quarterly. 5% compounded quarterly. What does quarter mean? Quarterly. Think about quarters. Basketball game. There's what? Quarters. There's 4 quarters. Okay. That means it's done 4 times a year. Okay. So this right here, we need to set up our equation. Then you're going to need to use a calculator to type this in. What are we starting out with? $2,000. Now here's the deal. I want to make sure you guys understand this. 5% quarterly. That doesn't mean you get 5% every time. You get 5% spread out over 4 different time periods, okay? So you need to take 5%, 0.05, and divide by 4. If you do that, you get 0.10125, okay? So you get 1.25%, 1.25%.
That's what you put up.
But you have all of your money. So you have 100% of your money plus 1.25% of interest. So 1.0125. Okay? Now, but how many times is it going to compound in 1 year? Well, yeah, 4. So it's to the 4th. Well, it's to the t, but we're going to do it. They want the equation, then do this to the 4th power. And your answer better be what? Bigger or smaller than 2,000?
It's gonna be
Bigger.
bigger.
It better be bigger, okay? You guys got your calculators. Go ahead and type them in, okay? So 1.0125. Now, what if it was for 2 years? Would it be to the 4th power?
8,
Why?
because it's still quarterly.
4 times a year for 2 years. What if it was 10 years? What would you put it to?
12.
No, but 40. 4 times 10. 4 times a year for 10 years. Okay, I don't know what this is. 2,000
I
times.
think it's like this number.
What'd you get?
4,100.
Oh, do they even have a?
They don't ask.
Oh, they don't ask it. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I know.
What did you get though?
4,100.
Ooh, that seems awful high.
Yeah,
4,000?
probably is.
Yeah, that's yeah. I want to go to that bank if I could, but
Oh my,
that's too high.
that'd be amazing.
All right, one more. Okay, so in this one, here we have $6,200. So let's just put that down. $6,200 times, in this case, it is done monthly. It's 8.4% monthly. So 8.4% monthly. So make that a decimal, 0.084. This time divide by not 4. Divide by what? It's monthly this time. So don't divide by 4, divide by, why 12?
There's 12 months.
12 months in a year. Divide by 12. Do that, you get 0.007. But you have 100% of your money, so it's 1.007 to the, and it's not going to be 4 times t this time. It's going to be, how many times per year?
12.
12 times t. So 12t. And that's all they ask us to do. We could actually plug it in to find out how much money you'd have after a certain amount of years, but that's not what they're asking for. Okay? All right. So you have the rest of the hour today, and you have all hour tomorrow to finish this, okay? There's some of these questions that are a little bit tricky. Once you get it, these are easy, but they can be kind of tricky. Yes, ma'am?
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr.